Welcome back. I'm Pratap here. Today is the 23rd November 2024. In this video, I'm going to generate different supply demand zone reports for useful to the premium subscribers. Let me start with the half yearly time frame. Let's find the stocks near half yearly demand zone. No stocks are available. For half yearly time frame, let's find the stocks near half yearly supply zone. One stock is filtered. I'm giving you only few seconds time to watch the report. I request you pause the video, complete your analysis or study and then proceed further. In case if you does not know how to study this report, I request you complete our training lesson 21.1. There I have explained each and every column, values, abbreviations in detail. Okay, the next time frame is quarterly. Let's find the stocks near quarterly demand zone. Two stocks are filtered. Next quarterly time frame. Find stocks near quarterly supply zone. One stock is filtered. Next time frame is monthly. Stocks near monthly demand zone. 8 stocks are filtered. Next monthly time frame. Stocks near monthly supply zone. 4 stocks are filtered. Next monthly time frame. Price closed inside the monthly demand zone, but these demand zones, monthly demand zones should not be pierced. So in the pierced count at monthly time frame, I am adding minimum value 0, maximum value 0. That means zone is not pierced. We got 19 stocks. Currently price closed in these 19 monthly demand zones. Let's verify high probability monthly demand zones based on the monthly EMA Confluence. So I am adding monthly EMA Confluence. Monthly demand zones are having monthly EMA Confluence because currently prices are closed inside monthly demand zone. But EMA Confluence trend should not be sideways. So that's why in the trend, the zone violation trend at monthly time frame, I am selecting up or down trend. Now we got 13 stocks. In all these 13 stocks, the LTF means the current time frame you selected is monthly. So monthly trend is uptrend. So these stocks will be helpful to you for finding your own bullish trade setup stocks as per your analysis. These zones will be helpful to you. Okay, next monthly time frame. Price closed inside monthly supply zone and these monthly supply zones should not be pierced. So in the pierced count at monthly time frame, I am setting minimum value 0, maximum value 0. Let's filter the stocks. We got only 4 stocks. And in these 4, only one stock is having uptrend. Let us check NIFTY is having monthly EMA Confluence. So in the trend zone violation trend, monthly time frame, it should be up or down trend, not sideways, because EMA Confluence makes sense only in the trending market, not in the sideways. So EMA Confluence, monthly time frame, monthly supply zone having monthly EMA Confluence. We did not get any stocks. Okay, this is about the monthly time frame. Next time frame is weekly. Stocks near weekly demand zone. This is also end of the week, so I will generate all weekly, different weekly reports. 3 stocks are filtered. Next weekly time frame. Stocks near weekly supply zone. 11 stocks are filtered. Next weekly time frame. Price closed inside the weekly demand zone and these weekly demand zones should not be pierced. So that's why in the pierced count, at weekly time frame, I am setting minimum value 0, maximum value 0, and with this filter, we got good number of stocks. These are the first 16 stocks. I am scrolling the list down. So total 21 stocks are filtered where price closed inside the weekly demand zones. In these weekly demand zones, some weekly demand zones might be having high probability based on the EMA Confluence. So in the EMA Confluence at weekly time frame, weekly demand zones are having weekly EMA Confluence filter is enabled, and EMA Confluence does not make sense in sideways. It makes sense only in the trending market. That's why in the zone violation at weekly time frame, I am checking in the trend based on zone violation. I am selecting only up or down trend, not sideways. Now let's filter. We got 8 stocks. These 8 weekly zones are high probability zones based on EMA Confluence and also the trend. Uptrend can be used for bullish trade setup. Downtrend can be used for bearish trade setups. You can use these weekly zones as a HTF zone or ITF zone. That way you can identify your own bullish or bearish trade setup related. That way these stocks will be helpful to you. Anyway, we are generating with the help of software, because some members they wants to identify their own. For them, these zones will be helpful to them. Okay, this is about a weekly where price closed inside the weekly demand zone and also having weekly EMA Confluence. The demand zones having weekly EMA Confluence with the trend either up or down trends. Okay, next for weekly time frame, price closed inside weekly supply zone, and these weekly supply zones should not be pierced. So in the pierced count at weekly time frame, I am setting minimum value 0, maximum value 0. That means weekly supply zone should not be pierced. With this filter, we got good. Again, these are the first 15 stocks. I am scrolling the list down. So total 18 stocks are filtered. In all these 18 stocks, currently price closed inside the weekly supply zones. Out of these 18, there could be some high probability setup zones based on the EMA Confluence with weekly supply zones. Let's verify. EMA Confluence, weekly time frame, weekly supply zone having weekly EMA Confluence. It should be only in the trending market, either up or down trend. So in the zone violation trend, weekly time frame, I am selecting up or down trend. Now let's filter. Now we got 6 stocks. In all these 6 stocks, trend is up, the supply zones. So that means counter trend trade setups, we can plan these supply zones. They can't be used for bearish trade setup because the trend is uptrend. Only for supply zones I am talking, because currently price closed inside supply zone. So you might be exploring for trade opportunities inside these supply zones. Okay, this is about price closed inside the supply zone. Next, for weekly time frame, let's find the stocks that are tested during this week, weekly demand zones tested during this week. These are the first 16 stocks having demand zones tested. Good number of weekly zones are tested. Some are closed inside the zone, some are moving towards the supply zone, some are pierced. You can see all the zones history. I am scrolling the list down. So total 26 stocks, and these stocks having the demand zones are tested during this week. Okay, next, weekly time frame. Let us find the stocks having supply zones tested during this week. So 7 stocks filtered. That means these 7 stocks having weekly supply zones are tested. Okay, next. Newly created zones for weekly time frame. Let us find the stocks having newly created weekly demand zones. These 7 stocks are having newly created weekly demand zones. So 7 stocks. So next, for weekly time frame, let us find the stocks having newly created weekly supply zones. So 8 weekly supply zones. For these 8 stocks are having newly created weekly supply zones. Okay, this is about weekly zones, and also we will identify few more weekly zones based on zone confluence also. So for weekly time frame, let's find the stocks having weekly zones having confluence with monthly demand zones. So weekly time frame, demand zones, those demand zones should not be pierced. So in the pierced count weekly time frame, they are the entry time frame zones, they should not be pierced. And they should have confluence. These weekly demand zones should have confluence with monthly demand zones. So weekly demand zone having confluence with monthly demand zone. Let's filter. We got a very big list. Further scrolling the list. So total 48 stocks are filtered. Weekly zones are part of monthly zone. Because they are part of monthly, if monthly zones are having monthly EMA confluence, that is even more high probability setup. Let us filter. Because weekly zone is part of the monthly zone. So monthly zone is having monthly EMA confluence, monthly time frame, monthly demand zone having monthly EMA confluence. But a monthly trend should be either uptrend or downtrend, not sideways. So the trend, zone violation trend, monthly time frame, I am selecting up or down, not sideways. Because these stocks are having. So they can be used. Monthly trend is up, you can go for bullish trade setup. Down, you can go for a counter trade setup related. That kind of plans you can do. But all these stocks are having confluence. Scrolling the list, total 20 stocks are filtered. These are the first 17 and remaining stocks. Total 20. So this is the way we can filter some kind of high probability related setups. Similarly, supply zones also let us look for. For weekly time frame, and these supply zones should not be pierced. So weekly supply zones should not be pierced. And those weekly supply zones should have confluence with monthly time frame, monthly supply zones. So that's why in the supply zone confluence, weekly supply zones with monthly supply zone confluence filter is enabled. With this filter, we got again a big list. I am scrolling the list down. These are the first 15 stocks. And the next up to 30 stocks. Scrolling the list down. So total 39 stocks are filtered. In these 39 supply zones, there could be some high probability setup supported based on the EMA Confluence, because in all these 39 stocks, the weekly supply zones are part of the monthly supply zone. If the monthly supply zone is having monthly EMA Confluence, that could be even more high probability. That's why in the EMA Confluence at monthly time frame, looking for monthly supply zone having monthly EMA Confluence. EMA Confluence should be only in the trending market. So that's why in the trend zone violation trend at monthly time frame, I am selecting up or down trend. Depending on the trend, you can plan either bearish trade setup or counter trend trade setup related trade plans. So 9 stocks are filtered. You need to look into the ITF trend. ITF is monthly. LTF is weekly. So monthly trend we are planning, either uptrend or downtrend. Okay, so this is about weekly zones, different weekly reports. Next time frame is a daily. Entry time frame daily. Let us find the stocks near daily demand zone. 4 stocks are filtered. Let us identify high liquidity daily demand zones from this list. Aarti Industries, this is a 2020 stock. We can't fine tune up to 5 minutes. Next, Dalmia Bharat is having a high liquidity zone. That's it. These are the two. In the two first one, you can't use 2020 stock. Okay. So next, for daily time frame, let's find the stocks near daily supply zone. We have a big list. These are the first 15 stocks. I am scrolling the list down. So total 24 stocks are filtered. In these 24, let us identify high liquidity supply zones. NIFTY 50 is having a high liquidity daily supply zone, stocks near to the daily supply zone. Next, AU Bank is having. Bosch is having a high liquidity zone, supply zone. And Grasim is having a high liquidity supply zone. M&M is having a high liquidity supply zone. MCX is having high liquidity daily supply zone. Muthoot Finance is having a high liquidity daily supply zone. Naukri is having a high liquidity daily supply zone. And Wipro is having a high liquidity supply zone, but it is from 2022. You can't fine tune this. So total 9 stocks we identified supply zones, high liquidity supply zones from this list, daily high liquidity supply zones. Okay, next for daily time frame, let's find the stocks price closed inside the daily demand zone. These daily demand zones should not be pierced. So in the pierced count, at daily time frame, minimum value 0, maximum value 0. Now let me filter. We got 9 stocks. Currently, prices are closed in these 9 daily demand zones. Okay. Next, for daily time frame, let's find the stocks where price closed inside daily supply zone. These daily supply zones should not be pierced. So in the pierced count at a daily time frame, I'm setting minimum value 0, maximum value 0. That means daily supply zone should not be pierced. We got a big list. I'm scrolling the list down. So total 35 stocks are filtered, where price closed inside the daily supply zones. Let's check, because list is big, let's check any of these daily supply zones are having EMA Confluence. In the EMA Confluence, at a daily time frame, daily supply zones are having daily EMA Confluence, and a trend on daily time frame they should be either up or down. 14 stocks. Okay. So this is about daily time frame. Next time frame is 125 minutes. Stocks near 125 minutes demand zone. We got 11 stocks. Next 125 minutes time frame. Stocks near 125 minutes supply zone. We got 15 stocks. Next time frame is 75 minutes. For entry time frame 75 minutes, let us find the stocks near 75 minutes demand zone. We got 10 stocks. Let's identify high liquidity demand zones. MFSL is having a high liquidity 75 minutes demand zone. NMDC is having. That's it. We have only 2 high liquidity 75 minutes demand zone from this list. Okay, next for 75 minutes time frame, let's find the stocks where price is near to the 75 minute supply zone. We got 11 stocks. Let's identify high liquidity 75 minute supply zones. Conquer is having a high liquidity 75 minute supply zone. ICICI Prudential is having. Reliance is having. And UPL is having. So total 4 high liquidity 75 minute supply zones from this list. So this is about stocks high liquidity zones. Next time frame is 25 minutes. Stocks near 25 minutes demand zone. We got 8 stocks. Next 25 minutes time frame. Stocks near 25 minutes supply zone. We got 11 stocks. Okay, next time frame is 15 minutes. Stocks near 15 minutes demand zone. We got 6 stocks. Out of these 6, how many are having ITF demand zone confluence? That is 15 minutes and 75 minutes demand zone confluence. I am enabling that filter. With this filter, out of 6, we got 3. In all these 3 stocks, these 15 minutes demand zones are part of the 75 minutes demand zones. Next, for 15 minutes time frame, stocks near 15 minutes supply zone, we got 8 stocks. Some of these zones are pierced, supply zones. But anyway, out of these 8, how many are having ITF supply zone confluence? That is a 15 minute supply zone with 75 minute supply zone confluence. Enable the filter. With this filter, we got 5 stocks. In all these 5, ITC is the pierced. You can't use it for your analysis. Okay, next time frame is 5 minutes. Stocks near 5 minutes demand zone. We got 13 stocks. Out of these 13, how many are having ITF confluence? That is 5 minutes demand zone with 15 minutes demand zone confluence. I'm enabling that filter. With this filter, we got 8 stocks. In all these 8 demand zones, all these 8 demand zones are part of the 15 minutes demand zone. These are all 5 minutes demand zones. They are part of 15 minutes demand zone. Okay, next, for 5 minutes time frame, stocks near 5 minutes supply zone. We got 6 stocks. Out of these 6 5 minute supply zone, how many are having ITF supply zone confluence? That is 5 minute supply zone with 15 minute supply zone confluence. I'm enabling the filter. With this filter, we got all 5 stocks. That means all these 5 supply zones, 5 minute supply zones are part of the 15 minute supply zones. So this is about stocks near demand and supply zones for different time frames. Next set of reports are about NIFTY and BANKNIFTY supply demand zone chain. Let's start with NIFTY, starting with monthly time frame, generating monthly supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. So this is a NIFTY monthly supply demand zone chain. Always look into the zone column to find the high liquidity zones. Look into the pierced column to find the pierced zones. You can't use them. And always look into the LTF trend to find the trend of the current time frame you have selected. Apply these rules for all the reports. And also don't forget to pause the video when you are moving from one report to another report, because I am giving only few seconds time. Okay, the next report for month, let us change the time frame to weekly, generating weekly supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. Okay, next time frame is daily, generating daily supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. Next time frame is 125 minutes, generating 125 minute supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. Next time frame is 75 minutes, generating 75 minute supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. Next time frame is 25 minutes, generating 25 minute supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. Next time frame is 15 minutes, generating 15 minute supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. The next time frame is 5 minutes, generating 5 minute supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. And demand zones are starting from 29th. Above all are supply zones. You have few demand zones. So I am scrolling the list down to refer more demand zones. So this is about NIFTY supply demand zone chain. Next, let's generate for BANKNIFTY, NIFTY Bank. Start with the monthly time frame, generating monthly supply demand zone chain for BANKNIFTY. Next time frame is a weekly, generating weekly supply demand zone chain for BANKNIFTY. Next time frame is a daily, generating daily supply demand zone chain for BANKNIFTY. Okay, next time frame is 125 minutes, generating 125 minute supply demand zone chain for BANKNIFTY. Next time frame is 75 minutes, generating 75 minutes supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Next time frame is 25 minutes, generating 25 minutes supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Next time frame is 15 minutes, generating 15 minutes supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. And the last time frame is 5 minutes, generating 5 minutes supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. So this is about Bank Nifty supply demand zone chain. Next, let us generate bullish and bearish trade setups for monthly, weekly and daily income trades. Let's start with monthly time frame. Let's start with monthly income trade. Bullish trade setup. Entry time frame is daily. Entry zone is a demand zone. And in bullish or bearish trade setup, at entry time frame daily, we need to select bullish. And these daily demand zones should not be pierced. So in the pierced count, at a daily time frame, entry time frame, because entry zones are daily zones. So these daily demand zones should not be pierced. So minimum value 0, maximum value 0. That means zone is not pierced. And zone achievement should always be violated opposing zone. Minimum odd enhancer score 12. All the 3 filters are applied to daily demand zone. Now let's filter the stocks. We got 8 stocks. Currently all these 8 demand zones, daily demand zones are supporting bullish trade setup. Some of these daily demand zones might be having high probability setup supported zones might be available based on the zone confluence. First let us verify how many of these daily zones are having confluence with ITF time frame, that is a weekly time frame. So daily demand zone confluence with weekly demand zone confluence, I am enabling that filter. So with this filter, out of the 8 stocks, we got 2 stocks. That means in these 2 stocks, the daily demand zones are part of the weekly demand zone. And the weekly trend is up in both the stocks. If any of these stocks, and also they are having high liquidity zones, both stocks. Because weekly trend is up and daily zone is part of the weekly zone, and the weekly zone is having weekly EMA confluence, it could be even more high probability setup supported stock. Let's verify. In the EMA confluence, at a weekly time frame, because the daily zone is part of the weekly zone, that's why we are checking weekly demand zone having weekly EMA confluence. Let's verify. We got 1 stock. So this is even more high probability setup demand zone. But currently prices are inside supply zone. The stock should go down 4%, then only we get an entry in this stock. That's why you have to prepare plan and you have to wait. And every day we should monitor your analysis. Okay, next. LTF, ITF, HTF demand zone confluence. Let us filter the stocks. I have to remove EMA filter. LTF, ITF, HTF demand zone confluence. 3 filters we have to set. First filter daily demand zone with weekly demand zone is already enabled. Second filter daily demand zone with monthly demand zone confluence. Third filter weekly demand zone with monthly demand zone confluence. With all the 3 filters, we got only 1 stock. So in this stock, this is the daily demand zone. This daily demand zone is part of the weekly, both together again part of the monthly demand zone. That means all daily and weekly together part of the monthly demand zone. And also monthly trend is uptrend. If monthly zone is having monthly EMA confluence, it is even more high probability trade setup. Let's verify. In the EMA confluence, at monthly time frame, monthly demand zone having monthly EMA confluence, we did not get this stock. Okay, fine. Okay, next is a bearish trade setup for monthly income trade. Entry time frame daily, entry zone supply zone. In bullish or bearish trade setup at entry time frame daily, I am selecting bearish The daily supply zone should not be pierced. So in the pierced count at a daily time frame, I am setting minimum value 0, maximum value 0. That means the daily supply zone should not be pierced. And zone achievement violated opposing zone, minimum odd enhancer score 12. All the 3 filters are applied to daily supply zone. Let's filter the stocks. We got only 2 stocks currently supporting bearish trade setup for monthly income trade, and all these zones are entry zones are daily supply zones. And we have 2 daily supply zones. If in these 2 any high probability setup supported zones, we need to verify. First, let us verify based on LTF and ITF supply zone confluence. That is a daily and weekly supply zone confluence. So I am enabling the filter daily supply zone with weekly supply zone confluence. With this filter, out of those 2 stocks, we got both the stocks. That means both these stocks are part of the weekly zone. Daily zones are part of weekly. That means overlapped with weekly zones. And because it is part of weekly and weekly trend is down in both these stocks, if any of these stocks are having weekly EMA confluence, the supply zones are having weekly EMA confluence, they are even more high probability setup supported stocks. Let's verify. In the EMA confluence, weekly time frame, weekly supply zone having weekly EMA confluence filter is enabled. With this filter, we got 1 stock. It is even more high probability setup supported stock. Good. Next, let us verify LTF, ITF, HTF supply zone confluence. So remove EMA filter. LTF, ITF, HTF supply zone confluence. I am enabling 3 filters. First filter is already enabled, daily with the weekly confluence. And then daily supply zone with monthly supply zone confluence. Weekly supply zone with monthly supply zone confluence. All the 3 filters are enabled. With this, we got only 1 stock. Adani Enterprises, this is already having weekly EMA confluence. Let us check if this is also having monthly EMA confluence. Even if it is not having, it is a high probability trade setup. So in the EMA confluence, monthly time frame, monthly supply zone having monthly EMA confluence, because daily and weekly together part of the monthly zone. Oh, it is also having monthly EMA confluence. Excellent. So this is a high probability setup, but currently price is moving towards the demand zone. It has to come back and get into supply zone. Current price is 228 and the zone entry zone low is 2793. That means it should again maybe another 550 rupees it should move up. Then only we get entry. Otherwise we won't get entry in this particular zone. Sometimes we should also think about the practicality. If prices are too far away, it is very difficult to get into that zone. We need to wait for a long period. By the time, statistics may change. The parameters may change, some of the parameters. Because of that, it may not be listed. But anyway, at present, this is high probability setup, supported zone. Okay, this is about bearish trade setup for monthly income trade. Next, bullish trade setup for weekly income trade. Entry time frame is 15 minutes. Entry zone is demand zone. And in bullish or bearish trade setup at, some mistake. Let me repeat again. Bullish trade setup for weekly income trade. Entry time frame is 75 minutes. Entry zone is demand zone. In bullish or bearish trade setup at 75 minutes time frame, I am selecting bullish. And this 75 minutes demand zone should not be pierced. So in the pierced count at 75 minutes time frame, I am setting minimum value 0, maximum value 0. Zone achievement violated opposing zone. Minimum odd enhancer score 12. All 3 filters are applied to 75 minutes demand zone. Let's filter. We got 8 stocks. Currently these 8 stocks are supporting bullish trade setup for weekly income trade. And entry zones are 75 minutes demand zones. All these are all 75 minutes demand zones. Out of these 8 75 minutes demand zones, some might be supporting high probability, and we need to find those zones. So first let us filter based on LTF and ITF demand zone confluence. That is 75 minutes and daily demand zone confluence. I am enabling that filter. And with this filter, out of 8, we got 6 stocks. In all these 6 stocks, the 75 minutes entry, all these are all 75 minutes demand zones. So these 75 minutes demand zones are part of the daily demand zones. That means they are overlapped with daily. Because 75 is part of the daily and daily trend is up in all the stocks, if any of these daily zones are having, these are all, what you are seeing is 75 minute zones, but they are part of the daily zones. Those daily zones are having daily EMA, then those stocks are even more high probability. Let's verify. So in the EMA Confluence, daily time frame, daily demand zone having daily EMA Confluence filter is enabled. We got 2 stocks. So these 2 demand zones are high probability zones, 75 minutes demand zones, because they have daily EMA confluence. Okay, next let us look for LTF, ITF, HTF demand zone confluence. I am removing EMA filter. So in the demand zone confluence, 3 filters we have to set, and first filter is already enabled, that is 75 with daily demand zone confluence. Next 75 minutes demand zone with weekly demand zone confluence, and daily demand zone with weekly demand zone confluence filters are also enabled. With all the 3 filters, we got 6 stocks. All these 6 stocks are part of the daily zone together, 75 and daily together again part of the weekly demand zone. And weekly trend is up in all these stocks except the first one, NIFTY, but NIFTY is already having daily EMA confluence. And the remaining stocks uptrend, if they are having weekly EMA confluence, they are even more high probability setup supported stocks. Let's verify. In the EMA confluence, weekly time frame, weekly demand zones are having weekly EMA confluence. Let's filter. We got 6. So first one anyway, daily EMA confluence is there, and remaining stocks, they are all supporting high probability setup. All these stocks are supporting high probability setup stocks. And moreover, many of these 75 minutes demand zones are high liquidity zones. I think all are high liquidity zones. Okay, next let us look for bearish trade setup for weekly income trade. Entry time frame 75 minutes, entry zone supply zone. In bullish or bearish trade setup at 75 minutes entry time frame, I am selecting bearish. These 75 minute supply zones should not be pierced. So in the pierced count at 75 minutes time frame, I am setting minimum value 0, maximum value 0. That means 75 minute supply zones are not pierced. Zone achievement violated opposing zone. Minimum odd enhances score 12. All the 3 filters are applied to 75 minute supply zone. With these filters, we got 14 stocks. Currently, these 14 stocks are supporting bearish trade setup for weekly income trade, and entry zones are 75 minute supply zones. In all these 14 75 minute supply zones, there could be some high probability supported zones might be available. We need to find them based on different combinations. The first filter is LTF and ITF supply zone confluence. That is 75 minutes and daily supply zone confluence. I am enabling that filter. With this filter, we got 11 stocks. That means in all these 11 stocks, these entry zones, the supply zone, 75 minute supply zones, are part of the daily supply zone. And daily trend is down in all these stocks. Out of these 11, any of these stocks are having daily EMA confluence, because 75 minute supply zone is part of the daily supply zone. And if the daily supply zone is having daily EMA confluence, they are even more high probability supported stocks. Let's verify. In the EMA Confluence at a daily time frame, daily supply zone having daily EMA Confluence filter is enabled. With this filter, we got 10 stocks. All these 10 are high probability supported stocks. In that, Nifty 50 is also there. Nifty 50 is also listed in stocks near high liquidity supply zone. It seems today TCO zone is also created. Check this, TCO is high priority or low priority at present. If any retracement tomorrow, there is a trade opportunity if it is a high priority zone. Okay, next. Let us look for LTF, ITF, HTF supply zone confluence. I removed EMA filter. LTF, ITF, HTF supply zone confluence. 3 filters we have to set. First filter is already enabled, 75 minutes with daily supply zone confluence. Next filter, 75 minutes supply zone with weekly supply zone confluence. And then daily supply zone with weekly supply zone confluence. All the 3 filters are enabled. With this, we got 4 stocks. Even Nifty 50 is also there. In all these 4 stocks, these 75-minute supply zones are part of the daily supply zone, both together again part of the weekly supply zone. They are all part of weekly zones. If these weekly zones are having weekly EMA confluence, they are even more high probability, especially the second one and fourth one. Some of these stocks even already high priority because they have daily EMA confluence. Second and third, because the first and third one, they are sideways trade setup at HTF time frame. Not sideways, trend is sideways. Okay, EMA confluence at weekly time frame, weekly supply zone having weekly EMA confluence filter is enabled. With this filter, we got 3 stocks, and ignore the first and third. First is already high priority based on daily EMA confluence, but second one, Adani Enterprises, again downtrend. Okay. This is about bearish trade setup weekly income trade. Next one is a bullish trade setup daily income trade. Entry time frame is 15 minutes. Entry zone is demand zone. In bullish or bearish trade setup at 15 minutes entry time frame, I am selecting bullish. The 15 minutes demand zone should not be pierced. So in the pierced count at entry time frame 15 minutes, I am setting minimum value 0, maximum value 0. Zone achievement, violated opposing zone, and the minimum odd enhancer score 12. All the 3 filters are applied to 15 minutes demand zone. Now we got 2 stocks. Currently only these 2 stocks are supporting bullish trade setup for daily income trade. The entry zones are 15 minutes demand zones. In these 15 minutes demand zones, any high probability stocks based on ITF confluence, let's verify. In the demand zone confluence, 15 minutes demand zone with 75 minutes demand zone confluence, we got both the stocks. And both the stocks, 75 minutes trend is uptrend. If it is having EMA confluence, daily EMA confluence, let's verify. In the EMA confluence at 75 minutes time frame, 75 minutes demand zone having daily EMA confluence filter. No stocks are having EMA confluence. Okay, fine. Let us look for even HTF confluence. Remove EMA filter. In the demand zone confluence, first filter is already enabled, that is 15 with 75 minutes zone confluence. Next, second filter 15 minutes demand zone with daily demand zone confluence. Third filter 75 minutes demand zone with daily demand zone confluence. All 3 filters are enabled. With that, we got only 1 stock. In this stock, the daily zone is, 15 minutes demand zone is part of the 75 minutes demand zone. Both together again part of the daily demand zone. But daily trend is sideways, so no need to look for daily EMA confluence. But it is a high liquidity demand zone. 15 minutes demand zone. Okay, this is about bullish trade setup, but one more, we have set all 3, right? Yeah, this is about bullish trade setup for daily income trade. Next, bearish trade setup for daily income trade. entry time frame 5 minutes, entry zone is supply zone. In bullish or bearish trade setup at 15 minutes time frame, entry time frame, I am selecting bearish. The 15 minute supply zone should not be pierced. So in the pierced count, at 15 minutes time frame, I am setting minimum value 0, maximum value 0. Zone achievement, violated opposing zone. Minimum odd enhancer score 12. All three filters are applied to 15 minutes supply zone. Let's filter. We got somewhere around 17 stocks. These are the first 15 stocks. I am scrolling the list down. So total 17 stocks are filtered. Out of these 17, how many are having a high probability supported 15 minute supply zones? So first filter is based on 15 minute supply zone confluence with 75 minute supply zone. So I am enabling the filter 15 minute supply zone with 75 minute supply zone confluence. With this filter, out of the 17 stocks, we got 15 stocks. In all these 15 stocks, the 15 minute supply zones are part of the 75 minute supply zone. And 75 minutes trend is down in all these stocks. If any of these 75 minute supply zones are having daily EMA confluence, they are even more high probability trade setup supported zones. Let's verify. In the EMA confluence, at 75 minutes time frame, because 15 minute zone is part of 75 minute zone. So 75 minute supply zone having daily EMA confluence filter is enabled. With this filter, we got 5 stocks. So these 5 zones are even more high probability setup supported zones based on LTF, ITF confluence and EMA confluence. Okay, next let us look for LTF, ITF, HTF supply zone confluence. I am removing this EMA filter. We need to set 3 filters. The first filter is already enabled. That is 15 minute supply zone confluence with 75 minute supply zone. Second filter is 15 minute supply zone with daily supply zone confluence. Third filter is 75 minute supply zone with daily supply zone confluence. With all the 3 filters, LTF, ITF, HTF supply zone confluence, we got 10 stocks. In all these 10 stocks, the entry time frame 15 minute supply zones are part of the 75 minute supply zone, both together again part of the daily supply zone. In these daily supply zones, some stocks are having downtrend. If any of those stocks are having daily EMA confluence, they are even more high probability trade setup supported stocks. Let's verify. In the EMA confluence, at daily time frame, daily supply zone having daily EMA confluence, and trend should not be sideways. So in the trend zone violation trend at daily time frame, I am selecting downtrend because it is bearish trade setup. We got 4 stocks. All these 4 daily supply zones are having daily EMA confluence, and 15 minutes zone together with 75 minutes zone is part of the daily zone. So this is about bearish trade setup for daily income trade, and in the final report, let's generate stop buffer based on daily ATR. First 17 in this list are indices, remaining all are equity stocks. So I'm scrolling the list down, whichever the stock you want to refer, there you please pause the video. After that you can proceed further. I'm scrolling the list down. So this is the end of the report. Hope this information will be useful to you for your further study and analysis. Let's all meet again in our next video. Thank you.